Welcome to Follow Your Process. I'm your host, Dave Andres. This podcast is where we discuss life and business topics so that all my viewers can achieve their desired outcomes. Thank you for watching and welcome. Please subscribe on YouTube. And if you want to share it around on your own social media, feel free. If you'd like to be a guest, DM me and we can discuss it. The podcast is sponsored by David Benegas of BenegasArt.com. David's a dear friend of mine and turns photography into stunning oil pieces. Visit his site, check out his work, and if you mention FYP, he'll give you 5% off on your first purchase. Welcome, everybody. I'm Dave Andres, your host. I'm here with Roy Baring, owner of Tex-San Site Services. I thank you, Roy, for the shirt. I'm representing this week out here at the Valero Texas Open here in San Antonio, Texas, where today's episode we're going to discuss how Roy and I have been working a little bit together, but some of Roy's success over the last couple years. If you remember, Roy Baring was my first guest on Follow Your Process. I have him back on here in Season 2, Episode 5. And we appreciate Stephen Tucker from Livestream Remote, who's producing all of this. And what a great little clip you guys just watched there, setting this whole thing up. So, Roy, it's been a busy week. And,
yes, Dave. Thanks for having us again.
Well, I'm really glad to be here. I feel the same way. Thanks for inviting me and having being a part of the team. It's really fun to be back at a golf tournament. I've done so many of them. And this week, so you all know, nothing's beneath me. I am the VIP attendant up at Valero, Texas, keeping all the bathrooms clean and tidy and the garbage cleaned out and everything else. So it's been a lot of fun. So Roy, let's go back. When we first met, I was representing Sanitrax.
Right.
And you were trying to get this event as a customer. And I suggested that you introduce them to Sanitrax, and go back to that and let's just recap that for the audience.
And yes, that was kind of where we first met, almost in a week's time, and we were here having a meeting with the Valero Open team and trying to introduce Sanitrax freshwater flushing to various locations here to help the crowd, be more hospitable for all the patrons that are here. They love the idea. We started with one location with 8 modules and 1 tech.
And how did that go? How did that go last year?
Oh, it was tremendous. We had great outcome with that, and this year we doubled that with 16 modules, and we added a urinal, which I believe is the first urinal on a PGA Tour event.
I think that it is. I think that this event today is the first urinal ever at a PGA Tour. So you used the demo kit year 1, which didn't cost you anything. And how did you hook up with Rentals to Go, Carter Brightman?
So, well, you introduced me to Carter,
yes.
And of course he has a large fleet with some other collabs that he works with. So we were able to get all that equipment from here, Killeen, New York, and Laredo, which they have various projects on. So it was kind of a grouping that we did. He was very helpful, and he's got Eli is here managing both techs, both locations for us, keeping those tip-top shape. So
yeah, and I know a lot of people who are in Sanitrax are like, you need the right technicians, you need the right people, and I'll tell you, Eli is top shelf. That kid knows exactly what he's doing.
Exactly. He went through both units almost completely when we got here from transport and did a great job.
But he trained with Randy Creech and Jerry Graves at Firefly last year, which he remembers that training to this day. So they doubled the Sanitrax,
yes, sir.
Which is exciting, right?
Yes, really good.
And then this year is unique because it's the 100th anniversary, and there's a big concert here tonight, right?
Yep, Jason Aldean and Darius Rucker play tonight, so we were trying to get some of that up here, but facilities are a little extended up here on the hill. So getting all those put together would have been kind of a project. But so they went with the plastics option up here. But we were also able to get some other facilities for the other side for our VIP personnel.
Yeah, and so, you know, one thing I've been encouraging you over the years is you don't own any trailers, and I'm like, Roy, just rent the trailers. We'll help you find them, right?
Yep.
So I've been preaching that. I preach it to all my clients. You know, you and I talk on a regular basis.
Right.
I'm excited that you soon will become a client of Follow Your Process.
Yes, sir.
I've struggled with that because I give away information for free, and at some point
Right.
we're going to develop a business relationship, which I appreciate. But anyway, I've encouraged Roy to network his regional people. So you worked with Texas Disposal Systems?
That's correct.
And you
Jason
got 15
and TJ,
trailers?
Jason and TJ helped us gather up 15 trailers. They came in from Monday on through yesterday, so we were able to set these and get them all set up for the Platinum, Gold, and Casita venues here around the concert. So
Yeah,
it should be a pretty
so
big.
for you guys that don't know, general admission ticket to tonight's concert is $150, and then it goes to $300, $500, and some
various
other fancy,
sponsorships,
and
yes.
all of them have a restroom trailer out and behind. And Stephen is here, obviously, doing some video for you at Tex-San Site Services, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You've hired Live Stream Remote to come and be here.
Right.
Not only is he producing the I think we're splitting the cost, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
But Stephen is capturing some video. What are your thoughts and ideas about capturing the video of what you're doing?
Well, it's huge. You know, it's able to get some good footage of my team members here. The team's been killing it here. I mean, we've been working. We plan for a year in advance, and then we almost live on the course for 2 weeks, making sure we tripled our equipment this year for the needs of the large crowds.
So what you went from what to what?
So we had 140 plastics last year to 305 this year.
Wow.
And then some off-site parking locations. Added so 2 total banks of Santa tracks, as well as 15 more restroom trailers, as well as a JAG unit, a JAG mobile unit that is a VIP individual unit that we have in the Valero private tent. We have 12 of those units.
Yeah, and you saw in the early clip some elevated views of those 10 units. Those are the ones I'm managing.
Yes.
But those are made by JAG.
Right.
And Bill Gibson came and visited with us. Talk a little bit about how that experience went with your feedback and those units. How did that go?
It was, well, we got lucky because Bill was in on town for another conference, so he was able to come over here, look at some things that we thought might be good modifications for an elevated platform. It's 20 feet off the ground, so you have drainage, you have AC or HVAC systems that you need to raise up on the platform, as well as keeping everything safe and clean. So he was here, we went over a bunch of things, new ideas for next year, some ADA access things for some other folks, and it was a huge help. He was all ears, he was very responsive. He'll be out here later today. Like you said, he got caught in some traffic, so we missed him on that.
Yeah, he was going to be our special guest, but unfortunately he missed it. But you know, I've known Bill for as long as he's been in the business, and he is that kind of person to this day where he shows up, you know, and maybe it lined up perfectly, but he really wants the feedback. He's going to apply the feedback. And so what you might not know is these individual units that have a sink and a toilet, Roy connected a manifold in the back to a diaphragm pump, which I recommended along with Carter Brightman, because Roy was like, how do I do this? Because you can't have a pump truck and you can't turn on vacuum in the middle of the day, and the 70 gallons will fill up on a busy day. They did yesterday. We had one dump. So we set up a diaphragm pump, and it worked like a champ yesterday.
That's correct.
To allow them to continue to use them. So that's, you know, it's fun and exciting, and you know, this podcast is to share with my audience what's possible, hopefully inspire you, maybe call me up and ask for some advice or whatever, but it's so exciting to be here, boots on the ground. I posted a couple things on Facebook earlier. So there was a funny joke about, we heard that Jason Aldean and Darius Rucker might be at VIP.
Yep.
And I was there, and what we do when we're there is like we tell people when they can go in. And they don't really know when they can go in. And number 4, somebody got into number 4 and they hadn't locked it, so the light wasn't on. So we said, hey, you can go to number 4, and there was 2 guys outside going, no. So I'm thinking, that's kind of strange. Whatever. So as person exits number 4, I say to the lady, you can go, and she goes, that's Jason Aldean. That's Jason Aldean. She forgot about going to the bathroom. She went over, took a selfie, and as many of you know, I do enjoy taking a selfie or two. I posted a selfie of me and Jason Aldean saying that he really liked the bathrooms, which he did. So anyway,
awesome.
it's a lot of fun to be boots on the ground, and you don't get these experiences. And I really have to compliment you and Raymond and Jesse and your entire team, Matt, the kids that you bring in that,
Yes, sir.
that you know, I think your nephews and
Right.
relations. And I'm gonna tell you something, leadership is really important in the toilet business. And the success that you achieve is because of your leadership, because of your culture,
Right.
because of your can-do attitude. And Roy
Thank you.
Baring at Tex-San Site Services is top shelf, right? And this is coming from somebody that did the 2002 to 2009 U.S. Opens just the same way Roy did it. 6 a.m. to like 9, 10, 11 p.m.
Yes,
You
sir.
go to sleep, you come right back and you do it. So it's really been, I've been doing this so long, it's fun to be here and be doing it with you and to tell my audience about how it is, right? And
Sure.
I think that Roy Baring could be an inspiration to everybody out there. So what happens tonight with these trailers? I hear you're bringing some attendants in?
Yes, so we have 20 restroom attendants that we're bringing in from a staffing partner that we have. So we'll have one per trailer along with management. They'll float around to make sure everything's taken care of, and then we'll have 4 attendants over at the plastics restocking paper and stuff there. So we try to be overcommitted on our team here, and our management has that same commitment. We like to stay innovative with the new products, the VIP stalls from JAG, the Sanitrax units, all of these trailers that we're bringing onto the concert. This might be an ongoing event here during the Valero Texas Open. We sure hope so. So trying to run through all that and make sure it's tip top is where we're at. The air vote system, which is another relationship that we've built with Angelique and Dimitri that you introduced us to, is a huge help in the course. We can react so fast without any radio calls. We've had very minimal calls in regards to any kind of service, any kind of restock. So that was a huge help on an event of this size and this magnitude and something this prestigious, where everybody here is, looking for clean facilities, sanitized facilities, and things like that. So
Yeah.
that's one more thing that we've added to our program here and in the field that's really helped us in regards to service. Our team loves it. And they've reacted really well with
Yeah,
that.
so for those of you who don't know about AirVote, you can watch one of my earlier episodes this season. There's a whole thing on AirVote. But we introduced it last year. I introduced it to and he put it in. We put it in Sanitrax. And then this week, I'm getting all the alerts as well. So I
Right.
get all the green, the yellow, and the reds. And it's just fun to watch how fast you can respond to a problem, and then most of the votes are green.
Yeah.
I would say 60-70% are green.
Oh, more than that, for sure. I think I've seen 2 yellows and 1 red, and the red was another situation that we weren't involved in. So
Right. It's
most
funny.
of the calls coming in on the radio are already resolved before they can call it in. So that's funny to say it's already taken care of. Thank y'all.
It's really beautiful, and I was telling Raymond about the Air Lead program,
Right.
which is for your drivers, right? You have 13 drivers doing your routes across San Antonio and so forth. The Air Lead program lets them see things first and then turn in a lead, and then your guy Russell, he's got a sales guy. So I was part of recommending when I first got to know you, hey, you need a project manager, you need an operations manager, and you added Raymond. So how has that gone, and looking back on it, what would you say?
Well, of course, in a position, our trajectory has been crazy. We've grown 150% in the last 18 months. So he's been part of that process. And in that, you're always trying to hold on to the reins a little bit. So you've got to kind of make that decision and find the right people. I've known Raymond most of my life. He thinks exactly the way I do. We don't have to have a 5-minute call every 5 minutes.
You trust him too. Like, you can delegate to him, even if he makes a wrong decision. You're like, okay,
tremendously, and that's what we built our leadership around. I mean, I can call either one of our top guys and be like, hey, most of the time it's already moving forward before I even know about it. So finding that right leadership is key, and to be in line with your goals, your culture, your core values is very important. So all of those guys are huge, a huge part of our success. And what's going on. We have a lot of big things coming, but those recommendations, you've said that numerous times, and it just took that little bit of jump to get that going. Project manager's been a huge help with our QR and inspection stuff in the field, as well as planning these events. Raymond himself and Russell all work together. Russell's building our sales force, so he's getting used to that. He was in logistics before, so this is kind of a new for him. taken off.
Right. So the other thing I recommended is you might want to dedicate somebody just to focus on sales, because Roy, much like many pro owners, does everything, right? Like he is hands-on with everything. And I would say all of my clients, part of what we do is sounding board for delegation, right? And what does that mean and how does that work? And so we wrote a job description, and there's coaching and mentoring that goes on. So Raymond has access to me, you know, over the phone. That's part of the business relationship we're going to set up for some additional coaching. Roy, and in it goes. So now you have a guy that's out in the field. He's selling, he's meeting with customers, and then didn't you add dumpsters?
Yeah, so in October we added a dumpster division. It's taken off like wildfire. We added 150 cans on the street in 4 months. So that's fantastic. Been crazy. He's been tremendous in that sales, in the sales of that division as well. Yeah. And it's just a combo package that we're using for our customers.
The customers appreciate your toilets, and they're like, listen, can you handle the dumpsters?
One more way to be innovative, one more way to relieve stress or headaches or pain points for our customers.
So listen, when I was back at Russell Reed and Mr. John from 97 to 06, we were doing frac tanks when we first got there. They sold that to Baker. Then a year and a half later, I'm like, hey, we should be doing dumpsters, you know? And they're like, dumpsters? I was like, well, whatever. It's just another asset. It's a different type of truck, but it's the same customer, right? And if you're able to give your customers more things, and so next year, I think there's a little word on the street, you're going to be in the restroom trailer business, right? You're going to own some of your own restroom trailers, possibly?
We're just trying to get that going. So right now, the supply and demand is
long lead time.
Very long. We were trying to get 15 trailers built for this, and we were already into the first or second quarter of 23. So the collaborations on a lot of the units here, a lot of different aspects of our new technology for portable sanitation has come from the relationships that we've built. You introduced us to various things.
So what's interesting about this is he relied upon Texas Disposal System as his sub-renter of trailers. So these things started rolling in the yard, and in came 3 or 4 other logos. I mean, we have Texas Outhouse here, we've got Reliable On-Site Services here.
And TDS.
TDS. And so in come these others, and Roy's like, wait a minute. And I'm like, this is how it goes, right? I mean, and the same thing's true with Carter Brightman. Carter's got 300 across America, a bunch in Killeen and so forth. So I encourage you and the audience to go both and, right? It's not either or, it's both and. That's my first tattoo I got in Reno a couple weeks ago with Steven. He got the same thing, but his is in like graffiti font. I'm a little more basic. But it's both and. You can represent, you got trailers, and then if you have a network of people and you rely upon others and you pick up the phone and ask for help, help comes, and look at you, you got 15 trailers at your second year of the event.
Yes, sir.
And I think Wasserman and Ted Neal really love you. Listen, I have to do a shout out to Laura up there at head of VIP. Laura's in charge of all corporate hospitality, right? And I worked with Meanie Rogers at the USGA, and these are the most demanding, exacting, solutions only, direct communication kind of people. And Laura and I have actually become pretty good friends. I took a selfie with her. Might get into the episode later, I don't know. But you're working with Laura, and I want to shout out to Laura. She's got a wonderful crew. They're running a great VIP up there. But the reason I emphasize this is not only to give her a shout out, but because this, if you can do this, you can do anything. Right. Like you can literally do anything. Right. And so this is your biggest. This is your biggest event, right? Yes, sir. But look, you've done it, and now your whole team knows that you can do anything, right? So maybe it's going to be Carnival, or maybe it's going to be the Austin Rodeo, or the not the Austin Rodeo, the San Antonio Rodeo, and then maybe you expand and get the Dell Classic, or who knows? So I'm really excited. It's a Saturday. It's sunny out, 90 degrees. I didn't know how we were going to pull all this off. And I just would tell the audience there's a bit of tension, but how he's smiling, he's nice. We had to logistically set this up. This is in the middle of an event, but we found a spot. My guy Stephen Tucker, we have power over here. There's really no one around, so it's quiet, which is good. And this is my first live on golf carts podcast, which I think there's going to be some more of something somewhere.
There's always something. Everything has to be self-contained on a golf course.
Yes.
So we've done exactly that in almost every single spot that we are on the property here. So.
And I think you got me a camper, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm sleeping on site in a camper, and I can't tell you, it sounds crazy, but it's the best thing ever. And I actually feel pain watching Raymond have to drive back to his house and then come on back. Maybe next year you should set up like 3 campers so that the guys on certain nights that just need to crash.
That's already the plan.
Because they got to be back up the next morning. You know, it's kind of crazy. Any parting words you want to conclude with?
No, I just want to thank you, Dave, for coming in. It's been a huge help. I really want to give a shout out to my team. They're unbelievable. I mean, you've got both N on your wrist. I think all of my team has an invisible yes.
Yes.
So that's good. I would just say to everybody that's watching, be sure to build those partnerships, get good relationships within the industry. That's always the first step on getting these larger events. If you don't have the inventory, there's always a solution. If not, you can always reach out to me or to Dave. But I think we need to get back to the VIP that we were talking about, and we've also got to set up about 50 more panels. So,
all right. Well, listen, thanks, Roy. I'm going to be right behind you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. See you.